Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And yes, I am a real lawyer. And today, I'm here to talk to you about why Jeremy Hambly, otherwise known as the Quartering or Unsleeved Media, is suing a cross-dressing board game creator named Prettiest Matt or Matt Lauder for somewhere north of $350,000. So hang out with me for a second. Here we have the caption to the case. This is Hambly versus Lauder. It is taking place in the District Court of the Southern District of Indiana in Indianapolis. Why is it taking place here? Let's address that real quick. I'm going to remove this caption, but it's right there so you can see it. All right. This is taking place in Indiana because Matt Lauder allegedly assaulted Jeremy Hambly at Gen Con in 2018. Actually, a little bit before Gen Con at a bar, not actually at Gen Con. Some people are confused thinking that Jeremy Hambly should also sue Gen Con, but Gen Con was not really involved in the altercation between Jeremy Hambly and Matt Lauder. Now, allegedly, Jeremy Hambly was at a bar prior to Gen Con, meeting a couple people, shaking hands, saying hi, getting ready for the show, and Matt Lauder approached Jeremy and allegedly asked if he was Jeremy Hambly. When he responded yes, he started punching him repeatedly in the face and head, and I don't know if you know this, but Matt Lauder is a pretty big guy. He is an instructor of Krav Maga and apparently has a penchant for punching people, especially Nazis, which we'll get to in a little bit. Now, he starts punching Jeremy Hambly, who, after being separated by some bystanders, retreats into the bar, and Matt Lauder is escorted away. Now, the police never made an arrest on this, and why they didn't is only a mystery if you've never dealt with police. That's a joke. That's a joke about police. But basically, you can never rely on law enforcement to protect you from something or to intervene when it's necessary. They will intervene when they believe or want to pursue the case based on the information they have. And for whatever reason, they chose not to do this. So, why is this in federal court? It being at Gen Con explains why it's in Indiana, but it being in federal court is a big question in the case. Jeremy Hambly has sued Matt Lauder in federal court. Jeremy Hambly is a resident and citizen of Wisconsin, and Matt Lauder is a resident and citizen of Connecticut. That means that they are diverse, not in the social justice way, but in the way of federal subject matter jurisdiction. It's called diversity jurisdiction, and it requires diversity of citizenship amongst all the parties in a lawsuit in their citizenship of states. So in this case, having Jeremy being a citizen of Washington and Lauder being a citizen of Connecticut means that they have that diversity of citizenship. So the second part of that test is a amount in controversy test. And this is actually a challenge that has been sort of completely incompetently raised by Matt Lauder's attorney. And if you want more information about that, you need to check out my other videos on this topic because they kind of go more in depth into this. This is just a summary as to why this is happening. Those videos are much, much longer, but I know that some people out there want a quick recap. So again, that's what this is. Long story short, you need to have an amount in controversy in excess of $75,000. Hambly has alleged $350,000, approximately $350,000 in damages called compensatory damages. So we're talking about medical bills, we're talking about pain and suffering, emotional trauma, economic loss as far as the economic fallout from this. If you don't know, Jeremy was banned from Gen Con because he got punched by someone else. So good job, Gen Con. Way to go on that one. Since Jeremy and Matt were involved in an altercation, Jeremy was removed and banned from Gen Con, and his YouTube channel bases a large portion of its income on Gen Con because his YouTube channel reviews card and board games, and that is what is present at Gen Con. He generates a lot of content from it. He makes business meetings and business referrals from the people he meets at Gen Con, and he expected, this is all covered in the complaint and in additional statements that I cover in my other videos, by the way, but he expected to score some advertising deals as well. And this is all based on data from the previous year where he started attending Gen Con as a professional, are we professionals? I doubt it. As a YouTuber who covers this sort of topic. Okay. So, because he was punched by Matt Lauder, he was banned from Gen Con, which means he lost a significant amount of income. He was banned from Gen Con allegedly for life. So, in the lawsuit, he goes ahead and parses out about 5 years worth of income from the Gen Con content and counts that as the jurisdictional amount. It brings him to about $350,000. Now, there's a little bit extra that's thrown in there for punitive damages. Because the state of Indiana doesn't like people walking up and punching other people, if he were to prevail on this, the state also allows for punitive damages. Because you can get punched and really hurt and really traumatized and not really incur a lot of medical bills because you just have maybe a concussion or something like that, which can be very bad, but can also be treated with just sort of a quick outpatient visit to an ER or even an urgent care. Because of that, because recovery can be limited by those sort of things, Indiana puts a punitive damages amount because they want to discourage the behavior. They don't want someone to go, oh man, I can pound someone into dust and all I have to do is pay for a small trip to the urgent care. That's like what, a couple $100, something like that. They don't want to have that incentive. So they allow punitive damages, which can be, at a minimum, in this case, $50,000 if they can go ahead and prove what happened. So we're talking about a lot of money riding on the line here. You're not really allowed to walk up and hit people. But the question is, did Matt Lauder do this? There are some people who would suggest that maybe Matt Lauder has some sort of habit of displaying that he likes to punch people, maybe a specific type of person. I'm not sure where anyone gets this. It's not like there's any evidence that Matt Lauder has a habit or penchant for punching people or talking about violence or anything like that. He just sort of is a guy that was there that maybe has exchanged some words with Hambly in the past, not really face to face as far as I know, but I think they had some disagreements over something. Who knows? Who knows why anyone would think that that guy might punch Jeremy Hambly? But that's the allegation. That's what Hambly is suing him for. It's being done in federal court because there appears to be federal diversity jurisdiction. There's certainly a diversity of citizenship between the two parties, and it appears that the amount in controversy is going to be well north of the $75,000 floor. Okay. Now, for those of you who may think I know there are people out there, because any reasonable person would go, wait a minute, a guy got punched and he's claiming damages in excess of $350,000. That seems ridiculous. Let me clarify that. That's the amount that's alleged as the maximum sort of theoretical amount of what is legally possible. It doesn't mean that Jeremy's going to recover that amount. That's the amount that they've compiled together, and that's the amount they're fronting in the lawsuit. They could actually get more. They could actually get less. The amount in controversy, as far as jurisdiction is concerned, leans heavily in favor of Jeremy Hambly right now because he's the only person who's provided any evidence of what the loss would be. Matt Lauder's defense in this, saying that is basically nuh-uh, he's not making that much. But the problem with that is, to make a jurisdictional argument, you have to set up facts or evidence. You have to do this either by finding out that Jeremy Hambly makes less money than he's representing, or proving that his medical bills were lower or something like that, or at least asserting based on solid information and belief that you think it's lower, and then you could request some sort of jurisdictional discovery. However, for this, all you have to do is it's what's called a preponderance of the evidence standard. So all Jeremy has to do is basically lay out a 51% chance that that what he's saying is it's 51% correct to Matt Lauder's statements being 49% correct. That's how preponderance of the evidence standard works. It basically means it's more likely than not. So it's very, very deferential. Now, Jeremy has laid out things like his income from 2017 to 2018, the change in income from going to Gen Con. He's laid out projected change in income. He laid out advertising deals that he's had in the past and used those to infer what type of advertising deals he'd be able to score in the future if he were allowed to go. So this is kind of a unique situation. Not everybody who gets punched, and not even Jeremy Hambly getting punched, would always be worth $350,000. But in this case, because it ends up preventing him from doing something that he stood to make a significant amount of money from, then there's the implication that he loses that money. And if they get past this jurisdictional argument, they'll either have to settle it out or they will have to work towards going to trial, in which they will put the facts up to a jury, and then they'll let a jury decide. So Matt Lauder has barely made any defense in his answer. He hasn't really stated even that he didn't hit Jeremy Hambly. So this will certainly be an interesting lawsuit to watch, although I will warn you, lawsuits are long. Lawsuits have big lull periods of boring, and there's no indication that this lawsuit is going to end anytime soon. So if you are interested in getting more in-depth breakdowns, document by document, I've been covering this. I've actually been covering this since before it happened, or before the lawsuit manifested. And I've got videos covering the documents as they come out, and I will continue to cover it going into the future. But I wanted to give this recap because I've noticed in some of the comments on my other videos that people don't have any idea who these people are. So a final word about that. Jeremy Hambly runs 2 YouTube channels. He's known as either The Quartering or Unsleeved Media, and you should definitely check out those channels if you like board and card games. Maybe he's somebody you'd like to listen to, maybe not. Matt Lauder goes by Prettiest Matt. He is a self-described queer cis white male. Whatever that means to him, I don't know. But he is often shown in a dress or skirt of some sort. And he apparently teaches Krav Maga. And he is also an independent board game developer and game store co-owner. So they were both at Gen Con for business purposes. And allegedly this altercation happened just prior to Gen Con starting. So that's it, guys. I hope that helps. If you have any questions or if there's anything specific, please check out the other videos or leave a comment. And I tend to interact well with the comment section. So happy to do that. And if you like this type of video, let me know. Thanks a bunch. I will talk to you soon. Have a nice night.